get Jeff's vacation time resolved with the union with his new position. So we've come up with a partial answer based on what legal counsel has provided, and it's in correspondence with regards to the Employment Standards Code. And it seems that the union's collective agreement is in violation of the Employment Standards Code with regards to employees who have tenure with the singular employer and not in changing to a union position from an out-of-scope position. So the union is in violation of it. They just don't know it yet. But I'm going to be happy to give them that news on Tuesday. And of course, April 9th was the town council meeting, which is tonight.
Good. Thanks, Darcy. Any questions for Darcy? Okay, so I understand Jeff's going to do the public works. Is that the way it's going to happen there, Brent and Jeff?
Sure. I won't argue that.
I thought you were doing it.
One of you do
it. Yeah. Okay, so it's been a good couple of weeks here now. Utilities first, basically. Lagoon has all been locked down now, is in a holding pattern, so we're just now keeping our fingers crossed that we don't have too much rain till May 16th, and then hopefully we'll have good enough readings and test results that we'll be able to do a discharge. The lagoon is fairly full. It's not over full, but it is up on the high end. And that's just basically from last year, how come it was so high in September, October, with all the rains that we had. All the pump stations are all in good order. All the generators are all checked out okay. Everything's running nice. So don't anticipate any problems there. Water plant is running okay. We had a rough day yesterday, actually. The plant was down for 3 hours. We had a problem with a pump and an airlock on there. So we managed to get it up and running and all going again now. Streets and sidewalks. Winter wasn't too kind on some of the streets. 5th Street by the high school is in very rough shape. We've still got quite a few repairs to do from where the water line renewal was done. There's a lot of patching to be done. We've got to make a decision there whether we want to go with asphalt and wait till it comes in, or if we can do a quick skim of concrete, in which case that way it's a lot better maintenance-wise. If we have any rains or anything like that, moisture, we don't have to go out and do the potholes. Sidewalks, as far as there'll be some cleaning in the next couple of weeks and just cleaning off. There are some that have had a little bit of heaving around by Lakeview there towards the dentist. That's in this year. And also the piece from Chicken Chef down towards the laundromat.
3rd Street there at the fourplex is looking really bad, eh? We had that bit of washout from underneath by the looks of it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's hard. Sometimes it's hard just to try and grade them and sort of pick the worst piece to do. But if we can get at least 2 pieces done this year, would be kind of nice. I don't think budget-wise, I don't know if we'll have much more to be able to do much more. There's probably a good $30,000 there just in those 2 pieces alone. What was we sidewalks? Parks. All the parks are basically all in good order. Play structures are all cordoned off. Benches in the downtown area have all been removed, and the porta toilets as well. Skateboard Park has also been cordoned off. Everything's shut down, basically. There are some benches that have been left in the main parks, and this was done just for the simple fact when some of our older generation are taking a walk around town, they've got to have somewhere to take a rest because sometimes they can't make it all the way around. Public Works itself, everything's going pretty good. I would like to see if someone would take up like a charge to actually look for sanitizer, masks, and cleaning supplies. Right now, we've got the guys going in and out of the stores, sometimes multiple times, just looking to see if they've got product in there. If we could have one person try and coordinate that with the owners of the stores, maybe just hold, say, 2 bottles of sanitizer or something like that for the public works use, rather than us going in and out, just making multiple visits. And that's it for me.
Brent, anything you'd like to add?
No, I think, well, I mean, unless we want to have a discussion on the garbage pickup, I mean, it's it's working as it is, but we're having some, I think, hiccups with some commercial places that had bags instead of bins that have been kind of, I think, fallen behind or left out a little bit. But we've dealt with the schools so far, and we've had our guys show up with the truck and had their people throw the bags into the truck, and they were so far happy with that. So I think the only other, we've got, I think the credit union, we may have to work the same thing with them too, because they've got a box or almost a caged off area in the back, and they've got a bunch of bags in there that are stacking up a little bit. So
What about with our seniors that don't have transportation or whatever? How's that been working?
so far we haven't got, I mean, there's been a couple of people that I think have left stuff on the side of the road on Friday during the snow. So our guys went around with a bobcat and picked up a couple of them. But for the most part, I mean, we've been having to dump the bins at the shop at least once a day, if not a couple of times a day.
So you're getting pretty steady flow from the community then?
Yeah, for sure.
Good, good, good. All righty, very good. Let's move on then. Obviously,
What about Brian? Does Brian
I don't
anything?
have anything to report for committees because I didn't have any
I'm
meetings.
sorry, Brian.
So just the special meeting on March 19th, right? That's it.
Yeah, okay.
My apologies.
I also forgot
Okay.
that I had phoned in for one of the regional EMO meetings. Mostly they just had to tell us about the Pine Falls test site being opened up. Everything that they told us has now been sent out to all of us. So
Right.
that's that.
Seeing as we're doing catch-ups, I might as well do one too. In the online meeting today was the announcement by Rochelle Squires that they were going to start with enforcement of the public health order. And I think, Darcy, you sent that out late afternoon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And by and large, I don't think it's all that restrictive in the sense that, it's the standard 10 or less people, no more than that size meeting group, closure of non-essential businesses. And I was just asking what businesses were open earlier, and then we got interrupted with somebody joining in. And is there anybody open that shouldn't be open?
I don't believe so, Gordon. John Fleming went around to all these places too and did a check on them too. Our health fellow he was involved in it too. He was doing some checking and watching and stuff like that. So
Right.
I think everybody is informed anyways, and I think everything seems to be in order there.
Yeah. I must tell you folks that I was given our health guy, because he sent out a notice, and I was giving him a bit of a hard time. It's not his responsibility, but I was hoping he'd pass it back, that the cannabis locations were considered essential. I just wasn't really hitting my numbers on that one. And then, of course, the enforcement of social distancing by businesses and services that remain open, including ensuring the 2-meter distances between people in the facility. So it's not so much the people walking down the street that might be walking too close together. It's in the businesses where that will be enforced. And the personal fines are $486, and the business fines are $2,542.
Well, actually, Campbell's has been doing an amazing job. They basically had an employee stationed at the front door, and they're only letting in 10 customers at a time. So
Right.
while everybody's waiting in line outside, they are social distancing, and everybody's trying to avoid each other like when they get indoors.
Right.
So they've actually been monitoring it really, really well, and everybody's been doing really, really well with that.
Yeah. So it's not really an issue here then, from the sound of it.
No, but I was at Stansets on last Saturday to get a few groceries, and the lady who was running through my order said that they've had a considerable number of problems with people just not paying attention. And I know that Rob had gone earlier this week to the post office. He walked in the door, and it was like a senior citizen tea party going on. They're all clustered together, having their chat sessions, and he walked in and said, "What is going on? You guys are supposed to be social distancing." He said he got the dirtiest look from people. He said at that point he grabbed our mail and bolted out the door. And he says, "Tell Ken I'm sorry. I didn't say hi to him. I wanted to get out of there."
Yeah.
I was downtown this morning too, Darcy, and I saw the same thing there. The post office, there was a lineup going down the sidewalk from Dansit's there because Dansit's inside the store have got a good setup going, and the people were lined up on the street waiting to get in. You know, like they have to wait till somebody leaves before somebody can go in, and the lineup was all the way back to the newspaper stand.
Yeah.
And today's newspaper day. And then just down the street is the post office there, and there was probably about 50 people there. I sat in my vehicle and watched from across the street, and there was probably about 50 people there in the space of about 10 minutes there, and there wasn't one of them were following any of the distance things. So it just happened to be a really busy time.
Yeah.
And our businesses and everybody are doing a good job of it, but they need a bit more help from our residents. Some of our residents aren't paying any attention to this at all.
Mhm. Yeah.
Out of all the businesses, the only one that I've seen is probably a little bit awkward is the Red Apple. And their aisleways are quite narrow. And it would be nice to see if they put some directional arrows, because that would be probably the best thing for that store right now. Because I've noticed there, when you get 3 or 4 people in there on an aisle, they're all trying to get past each other.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've got a request from Waterside Wireless. Darcy, if you got that open. Mine,
I have it printed off right here.
okay, mine's not opening, so.
Okay. So the letter is dated March 23rd. It's addressed to town council, and it says renew tower at the Lac du Bonnet Fire Department. Waterside Wireless would like to request access to the new tower being erected at the Lac du Bonnet Fire Department for their new equipment. For their internet equipment. This would allow Waterside Wireless to provide better service to residents of Lac du Bonnet and the surrounding areas. In exchange for allowing Waterside Wireless to utilize this new tower, we would supply the fire department with internet service. Thank you, Ken Hampshire from Waterside Wireless. And it's CC'd to the RM Council as well as to the Lac du Bonnet Fire Department.
Okay. Good, thanks, Darcy.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that? I think that's with the new tower. When we get to that, there's probably lots of capacity on there to handle that. And it provides the service as well, so it seems like a reasonable trade-off from our perspective.
Yeah, it's a win-win in my books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. I just wonder what all they were wanting. I know at one point in time we kind of visited this a while back. I think Jeff, you probably remember that.
Yeah.
And what they were wanting to do at that time, and I don't know, it's not really clear in here, but they were wanting to get into the hydro
Line, yeah.
lines there and stuff like that, the fiber optic and stuff like that. So they were wanting a tower as close to that as possible because of the expense of putting the fiber optic in. And so I'm not too sure what the request is really for, but I have nothing against them going on that tower. I suppose we run the chance of somebody else wanting to go on there as well at a later date. So, you know.
What would be our liabilities on that, Gordon?
Well, I guess what I don't know the answer to that, Ted. What I was going to suggest is that we go back to them. We're certainly not, just tell them we're not close to the idea, but we'd like a little more detail as to specifics of what they wanted to do, what they need for transmission over to that tower and so on. Yeah. Including, whether they would cover every liability in relation to that, we'd need to get a waiver from them to protect us.
Yeah,
And that would be my suggestion, is we just write back to them and ask them we want specific details about what they specifically would want to do.
So they're probably wanting to get this in as soon as they can, right? Like their network's probably as swamped as everyone else's. Should we pass a resolution that we're in favor of it, pending approval from our management here? So that way they don't have to wait till next month to install this, because it'd make a big difference for a lot of our residents who are stuck at home for this next month, right?
Right.
To get that up sooner than later.
Yeah.
I'd hate to see it pushed back, you know?
Yeah, but the new tower isn't even up yet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, well.
I don't even know if it's been ordered yet, to be honest. That's because nobody's passed budgets yet, so we're kind of in a holding pattern.
It really depends if the RM decides to put the money into their budget to allow the fire department to build a new tower, which they didn't do last year. So of course it delayed the new tower 1 year.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there's some time involved because they're going to have to dig a fairly significant hole and put in a good anchor for it and all the rest of that. So I don't think that's going to happen real quick, but
I'm guessing people that build towers aren't essential either at this point, so they're probably not working. Oh well, no need for a rush then.
Keegan, I wonder if Comstream with their tower that they've got going there would be, if people are wanting to get hooked onto something, whether that would be available to them.
Who knows?
they're not set up yet to go, I don't think, on the tower.
No, I don't know if they are or not, but I was just thinking like they're already there. I mean, the tower's already there. I'm just saying, in a time, if you bring in time, and they might be a little bit further ahead.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you're okay, we'll just ask Darcy to write a letter back and with the several questions that we would like answers to, and let them know we're generally in favor, but we need this. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. We'll defer that until we get further information then. So we've got a quote from Comstream for various services. And Darcy, what were you looking for out of this?
Well, this was actually put back on the agenda because it was on last time, and I had asked for it to be deferred. When this contract was rewritten, it was a little bit different than what was initially proposed way back when. And the big difference was that, their support from the company in reimbursement to the arena as well as to the youth center. However, the one entity that's in this contract that takes a beating is with regards to the library. I know that I had talked to Vicki and she was going to have some discussion with Kate from Comstream. And unfortunately, I don't know if they ever did connect because I know Kate was on vacation. And then by the time she was supposed to be due back, then everybody got hit with the coronavirus event. And I don't know if this ever got settled. I know the library was not on board for being basically tagged for the full amount every month. It was really too much money and too expensive. So I know that there was supposed to be further discussion, but I haven't heard back. Unfortunately, can we defer this till next month and I can follow up with it? Because I don't even know if this has been resolved yet.
Yeah.
If I could, Darcy, Mayor Peters, I don't know if it's the time and the place, but right now MTS is buzzing all around there right now, and they're coming up with a really good deal for the library.
Okay.
And that's kind of like it's a work in progress right at the moment, but I'll see if I can't get the head librarian to give you a call. And I mean, what she was explaining to me is it sounds like a pretty good deal for them.
Okay.
like they're getting some fairly high speed. And the other problem with the library there is they've got some internal wiring issues and housekeeping issues that got to be cleaned up before they can really do much of anything with anybody. And they're looking for money in a grant and all that kind of stuff to do some of this stuff. So it's kind of a work in progress right now at the moment. And I apologize if I'm jumping who's our library rep? Brian.
Brian.
You pretty much said what I would say anyways.
Yeah. Okay. I just sorry about that, Brian. I didn't mean to jump into your.
Not a problem.
There, but things are happening over there right now, and it sounds good. So.
I think the other thing that I would just draw to your attention is, and the wording on the document is maybe it probably wasn't intentionally deceptive, but it could be taken in a couple different ways. And as I was rereading that this week, the payments that they're turning back, my understanding initially was that they were going to turn all of the payments from each department back. But it's a 3-year contract. On the first year, after 6 months, they're going to turn 6 months of payment back. On the second year, after 6 months, they're going to turn 6 months of payment back, and then nothing in the third year. So just so we understand what the benefit is there. And I noticed, for example, on the library, that their BizStream 25, which is a 25 meg service, is $100. And MTS rates, I think, were quite a bit cheaper than that for 25 megs. So I'm not surprised when the library's not getting any benefit back to them, that they would be pushing back on that rate. So.
Well, and the thing is too, is that if the library, they clean up their, I guess you call the internet stuff there, they may get faster internet anyways with MTS. So then there's no point in joining ComStream. So until they clean up all the wiring and their data ports and that stuff, then a decision will be made. But right now, I mean, it's slow there because they got old wiring in that place right now.
Yeah. And I guess just from a proper business perspective, we did generally agree, but it was last year, probably in May. I know it was just a short time before the July 1st weekend. They had about a month to get the stuff into the arena at the time. And then nothing happened after that. So I'm not feeling particularly bad for them when they didn't do. If they'd have responded right away, then they would have had the business for sure. Yeah. All right. So we'll defer that.
Can we get
Sorry, go ahead.
Can we get some more information, Gordon, on the breakdown of that 1 year, 2 years, and third year, and what's in the fourth year?
Well, it's a 3-year contract, Ed.
Yeah, but what will come about? What's their ideas for the fourth year, that we rewrite the contract or go to the prices that they show here?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a fair question. We can ask that as well. Yeah. But we obviously need to have a discussion with the library folks and make sure that we're all on the same page there. Yeah. All righty. Next item is the Fire and Water Festival. I'm just slow downloading tonight, folks. Sorry. It comes eventually. Anyways, this I think the nuts and bolts of this letter is requesting the use of the Laker Ski Club location. And I guess my concern with that is certainly we've got that designated for a marina right next to the boat launch there on the ski club side, and also with the possibility of a waterfront restaurant there to complement that. Yeah. So, any other thoughts on that?
No, that's where it was discussed a number of years ago, that we would have a waterside restaurant, and the marina part started out there. And
We're still sitting on the RFP for that too, right?
the which, Keegan?
Request for tender.
Oh, the RFP
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. The flip side of this, of what this letter is not telling you, is the fact that with utilizing Lakers Ski Club property, which, by the way, is the size of a postage stamp, you've also got residents that are immediately next to that property. I don't think they want to be hearing the goings-on of one constant party all weekend long. I know if that was next door to me, I would be quite upset by it. And they also fully intend to utilize the property on the other side of the gully, which is the boat launch. You cannot tie up the boat launch on an August-long weekend for one private group. This is the only boat launch that town has, and a lot of people that come here are day trippers, and that boat launch is extremely busy on a long weekend.
That's right.
And people know that there's other boat launches. The other one, hopefully, on the other side, the Skinny Bridge will be back to working status for 2020, but or even 2021. But people don't want to go across the Skinny Bridge and then have to go traverse all that. To them, it's a real pain in the neck. They'll just up and go somewhere else. They want to be here close to town, to be able to come in and do, get their shopping, have a bite or whatever, or it's people that live in town or close proximity that utilize that boat launch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The reality is that the only place the fire and water really can take place right now is behind the arena.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen at Old Pinawa, because the people that look after Old Pinawa, which is Friends of Old Pinawa, they're not going to allow an event out there, because I know who those people were. I was back on that committee back in 1998, and that kind of idea of having concerts out there was sunk faster than the Titanic. So there's just not very many places,
There's new people. There's new people in there now. The provincial management there is very eager to get people in. So that might be a conversation for us to have with the organizers. We really need to chat with them and figure out exactly how much they're going to use, because it is a small site. So unless they're looking at doing a couple stages across town or something, maybe they're switching their format up altogether. I think we should probably chat with them before we make guesses on what their
the initial conversation that I had with Marie, she said that they were thinking that they really wanted to incorporate water into fire and water, obviously. So they felt that Lakers Ski Club property would be ideal. And I said, well, that may be a problem, because you've got houses that basically share the driveway that are basically right there. And I don't think the neighbors want this in their backyard for 3 full days. I said, she had also mentioned, oh, well, we kind of spread over to the boat launch. And I went, no, you won't. I said, that's the only boat launch in town. I said, I can't see that happening. And they said, you're going to have a lot of angry people. And I said, besides, you've got nowhere for people to camp. And from what she had mentioned, the property that Paul McIntosh had bought, which was the property that we were looking at, that we were trying to purchase.
Yeah, right across the highway.
Yeah, he figured he would mow that down and turn that into a campground. I said, okay, well, what about the safety precaution? Because that is a busy highway. You got cars going up and down there all the time. So you're going to have campers and people walking around. You're going to have trucks. You're going to have trailers. You're going to have campers. I said, I really don't think that's a very good idea. I said, but you know what? Bring the idea to council, ask to have a meeting, and they said maybe they have some additional ideas. I had suggested to her to contact Friends of Old Pinawa about possibly having it at the Old Pinawa Dam site. There you've got everything. You've got a huge space. You've got bathrooms that are already established. They can set up an amphitheater or their stages or whatever they need. They can incorporate water, and it's far enough off the highway that you're not going to irritate residents or people that have no interest in that kind of event. That was my feedback.
I guess we'll have to talk to him and get him to come in and chat with us.
The thing about Old Pinnacle was when we,
What is that?
That's Brian trying to tell us something.
You went full robot there, Brian.
this is unstable. Think. Sorry. It should be working now again.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're good again.
try it
Am
again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say we like fire and water, and it was never utilized because it's got everything set up there with all electricity and that stuff.
Okay.
Where was that, Brian? At the Old Pinawa?
At Old Pinawa.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the amphitheater was built for that, like fire and water.
Okay.
It was built before them, actually, for a different group. I think their big limitation out there is right now a lot of their income stream comes from liquor sales, which is a definite no-no at the park.
Yeah.
So their entire business model would have to be reworked. Again, we're going to have to get Marie down and have a big chat with her.
I was going to say, even with the liquor out there, they can't camp there, can they? So they still have to come back to the town to camp.
Yeah, no overnight and no booze. So that's, I guess, 2 income streams down.
Yeah. That'd be a tough one.
Yeah.
So then let's just invite them in for a discussion and see what we can figure out that works for both parties. You okay with that?
Works for me.
Okay. So 9-1 AllNet live video streaming. Darcy, would you talk to that one? I can't open stuff here.
There was actually 8.3. There was one before it. Gordon.
Did I miss it? Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ted had
That's
asked.
probably yours as well.
No, actually, this is Ted's. Ted
Oh,
wanted me to
Ted's.
check
Okay.
Which one is that,
That's the
Darcy?
Brookfield,
7.06.
water.
Oh, the agreement with Whitemouth and the RM of Lac du Bonnet to utilize SCADA. What are we going to do about that?
Silence.
I mean, that was just like a typo in that contract, though, wasn't it? I thought that they were using the SCADA
Typo,
from.
it's a whole paragraph of typo.
Well,
And it was done by Water Services Board and probably Orville Curry.
well, they don't even have access to our SCADA stuff, so it doesn't really matter what's in that, is it? Or does it? Like, we're not a signatory to it.
We're not a signatory, but it's in in their agreement by whatever means. And there's a move afoot to try and regionalize all the water plants in the neighborhood. So where it's going to end up for us, we're responsible for our plant. And SCADA hasn't worked properly for a number of years now, and whatever can happen or is utilized will be liable for any goof ups with it. And
Yeah,
we've
just-
asked
sorry.
numerous times of the RMs to remove it, and we've asked what they're going to do about it, and they refuse to answer.
There's no SCADA access without physical access into the plant, right?
No, it could be, depends what was installed this last time.
So even that, though, we're the only ones with access to that, right?
Well,
They would have to have access to our computer system. And the only way it can be done, they'd have to come in by Wi-Fi from their location.
Yeah, so they like, no matter what it says in there, they're still going to have to come ask permission at one point to do this, right? And I mean, I just don't
think,
see.
Keegan, it would be the proper channel to ask permission first before you put it in and have a signed contract?
I still think that the way I was reading that was a cut and paste from our agreement that didn't get replaced. So I'm not too worried about it at this point. But I mean, what I'm saying is, if they want to do anything further with it, they have to come and talk to us, right? They can have whatever agreement they want between the two of them. And I guess, like, because we have legal opinions and stuff in this, we might want to bump the rest of this conversation back to in camera, I guess.
The way I look at it, though, as well, you've got an agreement between two parties, including the third party, and the third party wasn't present on those agreements. So really, it's nothing to do, you know.
It's not binding.
And we didn't sign off on it.
No.
It shouldn't be, but at the open meeting, the Reeve acted, he was quite upset that would, what are we doing questioning what they're doing? It didn't matter that it was our water plant, and there was a number of questions asked at that joint meeting, and none of them have been answered yet.
I thought an email had come back, or, again, though, we're getting into legal opinions and stuff. We should probably, I thought it was answered, and it's probably better for us to talk about it in closed session.
Well, I've never heard any answers yet, Keegan, so.
Okay. We can talk about it later if you like. Okay. Let's move on to 9.1. AllNet live video streaming. Darcy, would you like to speak to that?
Sure. AllNet has pretty much rolled out their new live stream videoing for any and all conferences and meetings. I know we've had discussion in the last couple of years about having our meetings recorded properly with both audio and video. And of course, we did some initial look around and got some initial costing just to kind of determine where we're at. I know the pricing was just sky high. With the latest turn of events with COVID-19 and social distancing, it kind of caught my eye, and the price didn't seem too unreasonable, given that we basically pay on twice a year, $2,237 already for what we have for AllNet. They take care of basically everything. Everything is stored on the cloud. They provide the equipment and the camera, and it's you have automatic access to any and all of the recordings, and it's also anybody can log in or get onto the system when you're live streaming. So if this social distancing is going to continue for some time, which I'm thinking that it probably will, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way, this may be something that could be a good answer to having the public being able to have full public access to any and all meetings.
And just a reminder, I didn't say anything at the beginning, but just a reminder, this meeting is recorded as well by the Zoom system, just in case you've forgotten.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, good. We have to stay public or open to the public. I think their ability to interact with us is just as important. This system will facilitate that, right?
Yes.
Well,
they will be able to log in from their home computers in order to do that. Like right now with the Zoom in, I don't know that they would be able to access this. Could they, Gordon?
If we put it on our website, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And what type of cost do you normally pay per month for them?
$14.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty hard to beat the price. And I think with like a lot of people are using that free one, and it maxes out at 40 minutes, and the number is pretty small, the number of people that can be on it. But on this $14 one, you can have up to 99 people on it, and
Okay.
but it's just an audio recording. It's not a video recording. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
at least as far as I know, it could be. I'll have to check and see if your faces are on there.
Well, it'd be interesting to find out. It's just that initially when I had received the email from Vern, I just thought, you know, we've been talking about this for quite some time. It was going to be, you know, part of our next phase of renovations to be able to bring something of this nature in. And like I said, I didn't think that the price was that unreasonable, you know, for a high quality recorder and encoder in order to make that happen.
Yeah. So what's your wish, folks?
I guess at 2,200, that doesn't meet a requirement to have to tender it out more, does it? Like we should be okay. We can just pull the trigger on this right now, eh?
Well, $4,800, I think wasn't it? $4,800 was the price this year, and then ongoing was
$44.95.
$44.95, and then the ongoing was $2,800.
$29.95.
$29.95. Okay.
$29.95.
And our tender kicks in at 5,
6.
6. Well, I feel like that's a comfortable enough buffer that I would be willing to pull the trigger on that service. I don't know about you guys.
You want to make a motion, Keegan?
I move that we enter into contract with Allstream to provide for publicly streamed meetings.
AllNet.
I'll second it.
AllNet, sorry, AllNet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll second your motion, Keegan.
Okay, Greg, seconds. Any further discussion?
Yeah,
Oh, Ted, go ahead.
public can access AllNet meetings like tonight.
Yes.
And how many could they have on?
Darcy, do you know that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question because all I could hear
Well,
was.
how many can AllNet have on? Like, can it cover the 6 or 7 of us, 8 of us that are on tonight, or what's the number?
I don't have an exact number, but I'm pretty sure it would. Just in the basic of the information, but I could double check that before going any further.
Similar streaming services normally have there'd be all of us on camera, and they would have text access, so that as they're watching, they could type into a chat to get our attention. It normally is how
Right.
it's done.
That's on AllNet, Keegan, is it?
Well, I don't know about AllNet, but that's on every other service that provides a
Okay.
similar function is how they do that.
And you were saying, Gordon, that Zoom will allow a lot more people on for the $14?
Well, yeah, 99, but there are some limitations, like I'm running into tonight. I can't open everything I need to open, unfortunately, and I don't know what I've done. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and fix it in the middle of the meeting.
Thank you.
So we have a motion before us, a resolution before us, and we've got a condition on there that Darcy just needs to get a little bit of information, but can we ask this subject to that being satisfactory? If so, all in favor, please indicate.
Aye.
I think I got everybody. Yes, that's carried, subject to getting that additional information. Okay, we're just following up on what we did online earlier by email. Whereas the Lac du Bonnet Food Bank provides food and services to our community residents, and whereas many of our residents do not have an income due to job layoff or job losses during this time of the COVID-19 global pandemic, and whereas community use by residents of the Lac du Bonnet Food Bank have grown since the onset of the coronavirus, and whereas the town council is committed to ensuring that the Lac du Bonnet Food Bank continues to provide food to our community residents who are in need of this service. Probably should say in need of this service, Darcy. Therefore, be it resolved that town council approves donations of up to $10,000 to be made to the Lac du Bonnet Food Bank for their continued service in providing food to the Lac du Bonnet area residents. Is there a mover?
I'll move it.
Brian, thank you. Seconder? Keegan? Any further discussion? We had really emailed about this earlier, and but we're just confirming it today.
My only question is it's up to 10,000, which is just some weird wording. Is there a reasoning for that?
Well, we initially sent over a check for 1,000.
Okay.
And we felt that if they didn't need 10,000, why would we necessarily give it over?
Okay, so they can keep requesting from us then up
Yes,
to 10.
yeah.
All right. The people that run that, I think they would deal with that in an honorable way. So that's fine by me.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor, please indicate.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
That's carried. Cyber insurance. We've got a quote sheet.
Gordon,
Yes.
did you miss Community Development Corporation?
I don't know, did I?
We took it off, we pointed it off.
Oh, it's off?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it later.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Cyber insurance. So we've got a quote sheet. And that one's not going to open for me, Darcy. So if you've got it there.
This is just basically the indication of the terms, so the quote sheet in regards to our cyber insurance. It's renewal time basically from April to April with regards to all of our insurance premiums. And this is just actually the first that's kind of a separate one of that we got back from Josh King. Not a lot has really changed in regards to the options and the coverages in regards to the cyber insurance. I'm not sure which premium you wanted to end up going with. I think last year we went with, I think it was like option 2 or option 3, wherein the total premium was like $1,500. And this basically covers us for anything that's electronic, for privacy, security, multimedia, technology, electronics, computers, everything.
Did we have the $1 or $2 million package last year?
I think we just went with the 1 million, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought that was the case, but
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was just the 1 million that we had taken on. I don't recall the difference between option 1 and option 2, other than $150. But I needed to get an idea from you guys as to which way you wanted to go with this. If you wanted to keep it the same or change it and do something different. I just assumed that you wanted to keep it the same.
I'm personally even good with it the same as it was. What's your thought, guys?
Well, if we were happy last year, why not stay with it?
I don't see anything wrong with what we had last year, other than, I don't know, I guess, I don't know.
I have no problems with last year's.
Yeah. Got something anyway.
Yep.
I'd almost scale it down. Like the odds of us ever using this, like worst case scenario, we lose two computers in the server.
I think it's more the data issue than
Yeah.
than the computers themselves. Yeah.
Well, how vulnerable, you guys that know computers, is that cloud?
Everything's got a certain amount of vulnerability, you know.
Yeah,
And it just depends how smart the guys on the other end are, and if we're careless about what we do. I think that's really what it boils down to.
well, that's what we're ensuring, is us being careless.
Well, we're also insuring against somebody getting in inadvertently as well. But you know, I mean, if we do our job properly and make sure all of our protections are in place that should be in place, yeah, you know, I mean, the chances are pretty good we should be fine. But it's just that's why we carry insurance.
We may leave the barn door open one night.
Yeah, unintentionally.
I'm actually shocked that it covers off cyber terrorism at all. I thought that normally that was something that would never be covered by insurance, but I guess if it's specifically in there.
Yeah, yeah. I reread the list and it was pretty extensive, actually.
Yeah.
But we were good with it last year, and I don't see anything.
Okay, would someone be prepared to make a motion that we would accept option one as our, I think that's the coverage we had, Darcy, wasn't it? Option one?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Of the cyber insurance.
I'll make it.
Ed, seconder?
Yeah.
Greg? And discussion, further discussion? All in favor, then please indicate.
Aye.
That is carried. And just while we're on insurance, let's just jump over the next item and finish off the insurance issue at 9.5. On that one, we've got the new rates for the insurance, and also Darcy had circulated a little while ago the coverage on various aspects of our facilities. And we had had opportunity to respond back, and I know I saw a couple of responses, and we probably need to go back to the insurance company with our responses, but
Yeah.
I know the issues that that I had listed, and I picked up on some of Darcy's things as well. There was 2 buildings that belonged to the Lions, and only one was listed as belonging to them. So that's more a process of collection of funds. And then the water treatment plant to me seemed to be high. I thought it was probably about $1 million high. And you know, that's a bit of a guess right now, but it certainly didn't cost us that. But we're dealing with replacement costs, which are significantly higher than the original costs. And from what I've seen built at other places right now, I think $4.5 million would do the job for us. But I think it's $5.5 million is what's listed there.
Yeah, 5,377,000.
Okay.
Great Falls is, I think, 8 liters a second plant, and they were over 5 million.
Yeah.
And our plant is a 1 million gallon a day plant, but reduced to whatever Dick Menon wanted it at the time, and he kept changing it. And but basically it's still 2,300, well, 25 liters a second, I believe, but that's chopped down. We don't use anywhere near what it could produce, so therefore we could get by with a small one, which would be half the price of the replacement cost probably. But that would be, you know, down the road. So I think in some ways, if we were looking at reducing the size, it would save us. But then again, what do we want to stay with this full replacement? And
Well, I would think we'd want to stay with the full replacement value, but we also had that and we had kept our rates last year when we switched to the new insurer at the rates that we had.
Yeah,
And so now when we jack all of these rates up, then of course our price goes up $15,000.
yeah.
Now that's not the insurance company's fault, but and what I'm concerned with is if we don't go with their rate, then they're going to do a co-insured, and we'll only be covered for $4.5 million then.
Well, that's possible.
Yeah.
Well, what's the premium part for the 5 million? Or
Well,
Right.
the difference, if you look at the quote sheet, and I didn't print it off and I can't open it, so
well, I've got it. I just
Yeah.
got to find.
so when you look at the water treatment plant, I think it was about $12,000 difference if my memory serves me right.
Oh,
Just look at it there and tell us.
That's a significant amount.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And I guess in the event of a fire, we're not likely going to lose all our concrete and all of that good stuff in the process, but who knows?
And
well,
there's also consider like while you're replacing it, should heaven forbid if you ever have to replace it, there's your loss of business portion of it too. Like what's it going to cost you to provide water to the town in some other way?
Well, I think we have
Well-
loss of business service or a portion on our insurance coverage. So
Okay.
something like that, water supply, pumping in water or trucking it in or whatever, would be covered under that. Yeah.
yeah.
Darcy, do you have it there?
Or what are you looking for?
The difference in the rate on the water plant. It's on that quote sheet.
Yeah. I set up in wrong room. I got the bright sun coming in the patio door right now. Harder than heck to read. Well, it was what, number 6 or number 7?
Anybody see it there?
No, God,
All I've got is just the current estimated value of the 5.3 million. In 1 sec, I'll tell you what last year's was.
But he had a section in there that compared the numbers from last year to this year.
yeah, I'm not.
Are you talking about the last page or the, you mean the
I think it was
cost
near the end.
analysis?
Yeah, I think it was at the end, Brian.
Yeah,
Well, there's just I see a cost analysis page here, and like it says, property and general liability. I mean, those are the two that are significantly upped, which is resulting in a higher premium.
the higher
The property-
premium is 89.9.
The property's gone from, well, the property's gone from 35,000 to 50,000. Well, I guess that would be millions actually. And then the liability's gone from 21 to 25. Oh, 21,000 to 25,000. The property's gone from 35,000 to 50,000. So that's the two spots where that's why it's gone from 69,000 to 89,000.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the,
That's quite a difference on the property.
But it gives a breakdown and shows what the difference on the water plant is someplace in there. Sorry, I can't open anything. And we need to be able to give, that's due, so we need to be able to deal with that tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure what page you are looking at, Gordon, because
Well,
the
compared to 2 years ago, what was our cost in insurance 2 years ago?
Well, our asset values have gone up. That's the issue as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
Mhm.
And, like the lift stations have gone up, the boat launch washroom was what, 40,000 or something. And I think we paid 7,000 or 8,000 for them. The skateboard park to me seemed to be quite expensive. I don't know what it costs to build that. Does anybody know what that costs?
I don't know what it costs, but Chantel Bruchansky would probably be able to tell you.
Not sure if she's back from Peru yet.
If yeah, if she made it home yet. I'm pretty sure she led that project, didn't she, Keegan?
I think Tracy might have been big in that one too.
And what about
Yeah,
the wet well? Jeff, any idea what that cost would be? Is it was, I just know in my note here, I had said, I think it should be about $100,000 less. But
Yeah, I don't know. I know the one, when they put the one in at St. George there, they had a lot of problems with it and they went over budget, but I really would be hard pushed to put a number on that one.
yeah.
You
I
know.
mean, in a loss there, you're going to lose your building and maybe your generator and your pump.
Yeah, I mean, you're still going to have the infrastructure under the water level. You're probably still going to have it. Be fine.
Yeah.
So again, there, I mean, 100 to 200,000 maybe.
Yeah, and I think it was up in the $400,000 to $500,000 range,
Yeah.
if my memory serves me right. So it just left some questions as to the valuations that were put on things, and of course then it jumps our insurance by $15,000, and last year we valued the fact that it dropped about $25,000, almost $30,000. And just hate to lose the benefit of that all in one sweep for sure.
plus,
I say, I think this is one thing that often happens with quotes like insurance is one thing. And I know I was talking to Brent the other day about garbage pickup, things like that. It always comes in very rosy at the beginning, but then the next year where the contracts are up, and then it's always at plus, 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 it's.
Yeah.
what about the price of the building at the Lakers Ski Club? The dock and boathouse and whatnot. Those are pretty high priced.
What do they have? What do they have for the boathouse?
61,000?
For the boathouse?
That was up in the 20s somewhere. Or is
That
it? I just saw this.
Yeah, I just saw it too.
The clubhouse is $60,900. The boathouse is $15,300.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's a double garage package basically is what the boathouse is. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean they're not worth much to us at the present time, but depending on what we do there, that boathouse may serve as a part of the facility for the marina, who knows?
Will it be in any shape in 5 years?
Well,
Actually,
that's
the boathouse is in pretty good shape. It's the
the other
clubhouse. is in-
building. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other building is far worse, but the
Yeah.
boathouse, I know I took mine down and it was well constructed but didn't last long.
The
I
five
looked at-
docks that are out there, Jeff, they've got $100,000. No, sorry. What did they have on those?
The pier dock,
Well, it says 502, 5 docks. And I didn't know we had 5 docks out there. I know there's some stuff, the old ski ramp is pulled up on the shore, but it's noted as excluded. And there were some other docks that were lying piled in one side there beside the boathouse. But
Yeah, we've got one of them in the yard. We brought it back to see if it would actually clean up and pressure treat because it was that fake material for the wood on the decking, and it cleaned up pretty good. But I mean, I wouldn't say there's that kind of value in them, though. That's for sure.
no, and even replacement value.
No, exactly.
Yeah, so
I mean, it's
I put those things in the junker category and haul it away instead of insuring it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
The community center seems really low on there too, eh? At 486.
46.
Oh, sorry, yeah, they have the community center sitting at $486,000.
that's the bowling
Oh,
alley, isn't it?
Community center.
That's just
I think you're reading that
Oh,
wrong.
that's just
I think you're reading
contents.
it
Never
wrong.
mind.
Mine shows it at 4,862,000.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing it here. I think it might just be the contents. That's a bit better.
yeah. I thought the community center was reasonable. Yeah.
Okay.
So what's your wish? Should we just make some adjustments, minor adjustments to some of these and because we need to move the needle forward as far as our insurance renews on, is it March the 1st, Darcy?
April 1st.
April 1st, okay. So we're only 10 days behind the cycle.
If you drop the water plant by say $500,000, would that be, significant enough to make any difference? Or
Well, it may keep it in that area where they'd still consider it as full coverage.
yeah,
And
Well, they
And
definitely need to drop the price of the washrooms at the boat launch because there's no way
I
that a
know.
double-sided outhouse is worth 40 grand.
you know what I think they've got there.
You
Though?
didn't, see the seat. It's gold plated.
I'm wondering if they've got muddled up with the one that's at the dock, our town dock.
Well, no, it's got a decent price on it too. I don't remember what it is, but
The one at the town dock is,
isn't it 60 or 70,000?
no, it's $116,100.
Yeah.
which dock?
Not the dock, the washrooms.
Oh, the washrooms?
Yes,
Yeah. At the town dock.
yes.
Yeah, washrooms, beachfront park,
Yeah.
$116,000.
And the ones at the boat launch or what?
40,800.
But they're not, the ones at the boat launch aren't worth half that. So
It seems to me we shared the cost of that with the RM and we paid 5,000 or 6,000, 7,000.
I can say, yeah,
We paid
exactly.
7,000.
7,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if they were insured for 20, that would be over and above,
So if we put that one at 20,000, cut it in half,
I could be more like 15,000, to be honest.
I'm happy with that too. And what are the lift stations at, Darcy?
Lift stations are, hang on a second, gotta find them here on the list. Okay, so sewage lift station number 1 is at 436,200. Lift station number 2 is 412,400.
Yeah. So our gen sets for those cost us what?
The 2 gen sets combined was what, 87,000 plus an
Yeah.
additional 7,000 for the hookups for the electrical and,
For each?
Yeah.
well, that's combined total.
Oh, for the 2 of them?
That's for the 2 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we could
See,
easily
they-
go for 300,000 for those lift stations.
See, that seems, I can say it seems high because when we were looking at running the line up to St. George to put a pump station halfway up there, and I remember talking to Gil on that, and he said, oh, you know, $250,000, no problem, you'd put one in. So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think there's a lot of,
Well,
there's a little bit more work, but not,
where did they come up with on the wet well 463,700?
Well, we were talking about that one as
Yeah.
well earlier, Ted, and I think that one's right out to lunch too, you know. If we put the wet well and those lift stations all at 250, I think we're well covered.
I think we've got to also look at those that kind of assets. If we had a problem, would it be totally destroyed? And then to destroy it totally, I mean, it would have to be basically like an earthquake type of situation, I think,
Yeah.
you know, a bomb dropped on it. So it's,
Okay, so for the 2 lift stations and the wet well, do you want each of them listed at 250?
250 each, that's my recommendation. And $500,000 off of the water treatment plant.
Okay. Okay, wait a minute.
If someone flattened our elephant in Leslie, do you think we could replace it for $8,300, or is that a little bit on the low side?
they wouldn't allow it back. It wouldn't be legal.
Oh, it's a grandfathered thing, eh?
Mhm.
Okay, you guys have commented about the community center. Somebody had commented you were fine with that, or you were not fine with that?
I think that he was looking at only one part of it, or the contents.
Yeah, I was just scrolling and missed the header there. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Okay, and the arena building you guys are good with?
Well, the arena building, I hate to say it, but isn't it low?
What is it? What's the
There's
number?
an awful lot of arenas have been rebuilt. They've been burnt in the last 5-10 years. And they seem to get from 5.5 million up to 10.
And what's ours listed at?
3,991,500.
Yeah,
10 million?
No, 3,991,500.
Yeah.
I think we would be hard pressed to replace that for $4 million.
Okay, so just to make them feel better, we can push that one up a little bit.
Well, but yeah, you know, Brian, what did you see in some of those arenas?
A basic arena with no frills, 5 million.
Yeah,
That's basically replacing the existing structure we have now, probably with, you know,
yeah. And 4 million or 3,000,009, we're a little bit shy.
probably a little under what it should be, especially since we're putting money into fixing it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you like the number to increase to?
What is it at now, Darcy? 3.5?
3,991,500.
3.9?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we go to say 4.3, because again, we're, you know, on a destruction thing, we're not going to lose all our concrete and what have you on that.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad, Gordon. But don't forget, if it's totally destroyed with fire, your concrete will be gone.
Yeah. And now concrete's there is not the best already, so.
Yeah, won't take much heat and water to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go invite my friend in.
So,
Okay. So 4.3 million is what you want an increase to?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
did we adjust the water treatment plant?
Yeah, you said less $500,000.
Yeah. And skateboard park, what was that at?
Well,
We
yeah,
did, I think it was 80,000.
let's just go down the list here instead of jumping all over the place. Okay. You center building, 459,300. Are you good with it or do you want to change?
Take the cash.
And run.
Which building was that? Sorry, Darcy?
Youth center.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you want it left at 459?
Yeah.
Okay, 4 floating docks. Are these the ones that you said were garbage?
I don't think so. I think these are the ones that go onto the town dock.
Okay, so leave them at 20,000?
For 4 of them.
Yeah.
Actually, you're gonna have to boost it to 5 now because we brought 3 more, didn't we? So we had 2 plus 3, so now it's 5 now.
Okay, so 25,000?
Oh, yeah, that's still actually 24. Yeah, 24. Actually, no, 4, 5. You know what? The 20,000 basically covers it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Pier dock, beachfront, $308,000. Seems like it's kind of low for the pier.
Super low.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we're rebuilding it.
I know, but we haven't rebuilt it yet. The money isn't even in our pocket yet. So do you want to leave it this year for the 308 and then increase it next year when the work will actually be done?
I think we should leave it where it is right now.
Yep.
and-
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Okay. So then we'll relook
If
at
it were
that.
destroyed, it would be a bonus.
Okay. Okay, the kiosk on MacArthur Avenue and Smith Road for 19,000. I don't think anybody even looks at that thing, to be honest. I've never seen anybody out there updating it. Is there anything updated up there?
Yeah, no, it gets updated and people stop by there.
Okay,
There's people sitting on the bench there.
okay. Is this thing really worth 19 grand?
Barely
Yeah.
in a pinch.
Like somehow I would think that if the sucker burned down, you'd put up something smaller, more economical that has like more board space, but
I mean, you could probably do 15 or something and save a couple of
Yeah.
grand there.
okay, so do you want to go 15 or do you want to leave it or what do you want to do?
Let's make it 15 then.
Okay, playground equipment, beachfront park for 14,800. Leave it or change it?
Leave it.
Okay. Washrooms, beachfront, 116,100. Leave it?
Yeah.
And
That seems kind of low, doesn't it?
I don't know what bathrooms are worth that are, of that nature, so.
Yeah, it's
Well-
such a weird structure, eh? With it being
Yeah.
half dug in like that.
yeah, that's not a heated building either. That's I
No,
think that's only a 3-season or 2-season or whatever.
Yeah. I don't even want to speak to that one. It's such an oddball.
well, then let's leave it then.
Yeah.
Okay, playground equipment, Park Avenue Memorial Park, $8,300.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Playground equipment, Lake Avenue Leslie Park, 52,500.
Probably shy.
Yeah. What did the Lions have to fundraise for that there, Greg?
That
Well,
was 40. Was it not, Greg?
yeah, it was up. I think they spent 90,000 there altogether.
Yeah.
And then we spent all that money getting all the
Yeah.
surrounding area in too, so that's
Yeah.
probably on the
Okay,
lower
so
side.
What's it at, Darcy?
52,500.
Yeah, we should probably be in the $90,000 to $100,000 range, I would think.
Yeah.
But is that a thing again where, like, what's the chances of it all being totally destroyed?
Yeah.
Well, that's right. But I mean,
Okay, do you maybe want to go 60?
Let's do 60 then.
I'm good with that.
Okay, the pedestrian bridge at Leslie Park is listed for 35,200. I think that's a pretty good price for the bridge, and we actually just redid it. What did we pay Hines? It was around.
Yeah, we just put. Yeah, we only put it.
10,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a couple. Yeah, it wasn't that much, but it's the biggest thing in there is if it was actually replaced, that they would actually for 35,000. That's got engineering and everything into it. So
yeah,
I'd say that's fairly good because we looked at doing a smaller bridge and we were at 15,000 in no time at all. So
okay.
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Okay, so leave it there at 35?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so boat launch, Highway 502, La Vérendrye Park. They've got it listed for $6,100.
Oh, I'd be, I don't know what you'd replace there. I guess, yeah, well,
The sign?
Did you say
The sign?
6,100, Darcy?
6,100.
For the boat launch, Highway 502, La Vérendrye Park.
Yep.
What does that cover?
Well, the docks.
Boat launch
Basically.
area?
Boat launch area, which would be the docks.
But those docks aren't they maintained and covered by the RM?
They look after them. They pull them up, pull them down. They do some dredging and stuff.
I'll just leave it.
We do.
let's just leave it, yeah, because that's jointly owned or jointly funded, eh?
Yeah.
So far.
Okay, so the washrooms at the boat launch, we had, you guys had said that you wanted it down to 15,000.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
The ball diamond lighting, fencing, and bleachers on the cart there, they have listed at 61.5. Is that a decent coverage price or not? I don't know what this stuff is worth.
Fence is expensive.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so leave
Yeah.
that.
Probably reasonable.
Okay. Okay, skateboard park is listed at 80,000.
That to me is a stretch there. I'd go for 50,000.
So also at that, I can say I don't agree. I'm fine with the 50,000, but in order to damage it, this is poured concrete. So I mean, it's got to be like a nuclear attack to
Mhm.
anything.
Someone would have to drive a big
Yeah,
car into a piece of equipment. Yeah,
There's no wood structure or anything like that, that's for sure.
No, exactly.
that thing's indestructible.
I'm good with less too.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you want to go, what, 50,000, 40,000,
I'd go 35.
35?
Yeah, what's gonna take to wreck it?
Have you ever met today's teenagers?
Sledgehammers, maybe?
Yeah,
Okay, so moving on, we've got the wet well building, including the fixed equipment and 25 kilowatt backup generator on Lake Avenue. They listed for 463,700, and previous conversation, we said put down to 250. Are you still good with 250?
Yep.
Okay. Lac du Bonnet Rec Land, 5 docks, Highway 502, 48,800.
How much was that?
48,800.
That's that scrap iron you were talking about, Gordon, isn't it?
Well, Jeff, you were saying, didn't you think that was the docks, the floating docks of the main dock?
Yeah,
think
we've done those already.
I think those are the docks at the boat launch.
Yeah. While we're talking about docks in this list, I don't think I've seen the dock that we have down at Lakeside, like way down there at the end. or
No,
the
that's
big
not,
one.
we haven't come across that one yet. And that was pointed out to them as well.
Yeah, I did a quick scan. I haven't seen it in here yet.
no,
So this is the at 502, then that's the docks that we lift up there, probably.
Yeah, probably.
But I thought we had coverage already, Darcy, on the boat launch, didn't we?
Well, I thought so too, because
The boat launch itself was listed. Maybe they're talking about the concrete pads and the docks are separate.
Well, see, on item number 13, there was 4 floating docks for the beachfront park, which you guys said lately for 20,000. But we have more than 4 floating docks at the beach at the beach right now.
We got 5.
We have 5.
Yeah.
And whereas at Reclands, 5 docks, like the boat, if you're talking about the boat launch, there is not 5 docks at the boat launch. There's 2 docks and a platform.
Yeah, exactly.
And like one of the docks of the platform comes off the second dock that's on the south side. So I don't know where the 5 docks come from.
I think they've got their descriptions kind of muddled up, and
Yeah, because there is no 5 docks at the
502.
like-
No.
and I think the other thing is, I think we've got to also make sure with those docks, if they're not, we don't want to double insure them, because if the RM's got them insured already.
Yeah. Okay, I'll ask them to go dig and find that one because there isn't any docks there. There's basically just the clubhouse and the boathouse that are on the property.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, so the 5 concrete picnic tables, equal amount on each, various locations throughout Lac du Bonnet.
How much they got them for?
8,000.
For all of them?
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Recycling building, 241,500.
It's not worth that, but
If it's replacement, that's not enough.
yeah, but exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so leave it.
That compactor in there, like for their cardboard and all that kind of stuff, that probably cost you 50 grand right there.
I mean, that's something I would prefer for us to have insured, probably on the higher side for replacement. Like you look at the amount of like fuel loading and stuff they get on that site with all the paper and whatnot. Like, I think that's a high risk building there, in my opinion.
Does that include the contents as well, Darcy, or is that just the building?
This is just building and structures.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
not-
okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, it's just
Yeah, the
building.
presses are another one.
Yeah.
Um,
I think they were well covered when well, we'll see when we get there, but
Okay, so then they have rental income for 500,000 limits. They've got gross revenue recycle building at 79 Second Street for a $200,000 limit. They're excluding the raft or ski jump at Lakeside,
not
sorry,
covered.
at Lakers Club.
That's not covered.
And they got the clubhouse, 60,900. I'm not sure what SCH-ACV means. Is that actual cash value? What does the SCH mean?
STH?
SCH?
SCH.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're listed as named perils. It's not even
Yeah.
assets or excluded. It says named perils, and they're highlighted that they're vacant.
Yeah, because they got the clubhouse and the boathouse that are both listed, but I know ACV is the actual cash value, but I don't know what SCH means.
One second. I have someone that works in insurance in the next room. I'm going to go bug her really quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
again.
That's right.
What have you got left there, Darcy?
It's basically just the estimated values of the contents from all the properties.
I think they were all pretty reasonable.
Yeah,
from what
okay.
I remember going through them.
Looking at it, I think they just went 10% of the value on everything.
Yeah.
And they didn't move it out of the range all that much, so.
No. How are the new puppies, Jeff?
They're fine. They're all sleeping right now.
They are?
That's
Who's,
quiet there.
Which one's
Sorry?
hungry then?
Which ones?
Which one is hungry?
Oh, they're all usually all hungry at once, it seems.
What was Keegan checking on?
I was just asking Megan what the SCH means when it's an actual cash value,
Oh,
the
okay.
insurance.
Yeah. Oh,
Can you
yeah.
guys see the puppies?
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness.
is that Jack with no coat?
No, that's Willie.
Okay. I can say Jack doesn't have puppies.
No, that's right.
What'd you find out, Keegan?
Megan has never run into SCH. She agrees. Actual cash value on the other one, SCH. Who knows?
I will, I'll make myself a note and I'll ask Joss, what does SCH mean?
Okay.
Usually it stands for schedule.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I don't know in here.
Yeah, it's the wrong place. But then again, it could be scheduled as actual cash value. So,
Okay.
I'll make
So,
myself a note to ask him because I don't want to guess on this one.
yeah, no,
Okay.
we'll move forward, get the adjustments on there and get the new numbers and then accept the insurance or approve the insurance based on those adjustments.
well,
Somebody be prepared to make a motion to that effect.
I would move that.
Keegan? Thank you. And seconder.
second,
Ted, further discussion?
Sorry, who was the mover?
I moved and then Ted followed.
Okay.
All in favor then, please indicate.
Aye.
I,
Okay, we've got, I can't even do anything with my computer now, so I don't know what's happened, but anyways, we've got to go back and do the resolution for the temporary closure of the public facilities. And if somebody's got that up, could you read it for us? The resolution?
I'll do it.
Okay,
Whereas the health, safety, and protection of our residents and staff from COVID-19 pandemic is paramount to the town, and whereas council agrees with the recommendation from public health to close access to all public facilities, spaces, parks, playgrounds, and equipment and public washrooms to promote social distancing and surface protection from the virus, therefore be resolved that council approves the temporary closure of all public facilities, spaces, parks, playgrounds, and equipment and public washrooms during the COVID-19 pandemic. Is there a mover?
okay, who's moving that?
I
I'll
would
move it.
that.
Okay, Ted? And seconder, please.
I'll second.
Okay, thanks, Greg. Further discussion, I just found out it was my mouse that was the problem, and now I'm back in business.
You fed the mouse.
Yeah. Any further discussion? All in favor, then please indicate your favor.
Aye.
I,
Yes, we're carried. All right. Anything else for regular business? That's the end of our agenda, other than our in-camera. Okay, be it resolved, the council does now adjourn the regular order of business to sit as a committee of the whole in camera, and all discussion shall be kept in confidence. A mover, please.
I'll move.
Greg moves.
Yeah.
Seconder?
I'll second.
Keegan? All in favor, please indicate.
Aye.
That is carried. And I just need to turn off my recorder here before we carry on.
I'll be right back.
There you go.
We've got the CDC matter that we need to have a resolution on. Just to get it on the floor, would someone be prepared to move that we appoint Keegan to the CBC board? Is there a
I will
mover
move
for
that. Yes, I'll move that Keegan be appointed to the CDC board on behalf of the town of Lac du Bonnet.
Okay, seconder.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Should we do it, I guess, is the further discussion.
Yeah, that is.
I see two faces here that are grimacing, and it kind of makes me a little bit more nervous. Like, where are you guys sitting, like, on the risk of it? Like, I'm curious, Brian. You have something to say. I can see you.
I shared my thoughts with Darcy earlier this week with a phone call. You know,
Sorry.
right, Darcy? I gave you my thoughts on it already.
And I gave mine.
Knock yourself out, Keegan.
Am I going to get knocked out though?
I'm sure they'll play nice with you for a while.
Oh, for a little bit. All right. I guess I will just make sure that all the emails get routed to Darcy as well. We'll just keep a close eye on it, and we'll be sure to pull the ripcord ahead of time, I guess. We've run into this twice already, so we'll
Okay,
be safe the third time.
Any further discussion?
No, I would like this to be a recorded vote.
Okay.
Okay. So if there's nothing else, then all in favor, please indicate. Okay, Keegan's yes, Greg's yes. Got it, Greg? And Brian's yes. Ted?
No,
Okay, no. Alrighty, there we go. We've got 3 votes that passes, and so that is carried.
Ted, I will graciously accept the told you so if it comes to that in a couple months. I will let you get one of those in on me.
no, I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
We're growing adults.
Okay, any other business? One last opportunity?
It just dawned on me just now. I've got received 2 signs having to do with our community law enforcement that were volunteers that we're doing up there that need to be erected. It's not a priority. But I just thought I'd let you know that I received 2 signs via Scott Jones to put up in our town. So
Okay.
and I'd like to see them put up in a strategic place. There's 2 of them, and also we need to follow our new sign laws, I guess, as well.
Yes, yeah. And depending on what size it is and where it's going to go and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
What are the signs for?
That's for the community watch kind of group.
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
Patrol.
it warns everybody when they hit town that we're watching.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, one question. With regards to our current garbage and recycling situation, we've actually had a few inquiries this week from a couple of groups wherein they're considered commercial business, but they don't have bins. They basically bag their garbage. In the past, we've always picked it up. A couple of weeks ago, we had ordered 2 new bins directly from manufacturer, and I believe we were supposed to get them on the 6th of April. I didn't get a chance to check with Brent and Jeff if
We haven't seen any new bins in the last couple of weeks.
Okay, so we'll have to bug Jeff on Tuesday. I can't remember who the manufacturer was to find out where those bins are. But just a key point, like today, for example, we got a call from Centennial School in that they don't have like a commercial bin that we would just dump off into the back of the truck. I know Brent had talked to somebody from the board office, or sorry, the school office, and they made arrangements for us to bring the truck, and then their caretaker or janitorial staff would basically just load the bags into the truck. But we're finding that there's been a few instances so far in the past week where a couple of these locations, they don't have bins, even though they are considered commercial. Would anybody have a problem if we ordered a few extra bins, get them made? I know the last two that we ordered are basically going to run us about $3,800, but they are commercial bins. There's no touch, and even once we get past the COVID event and with the surfaces and handling, these locations will be able to continue to use those bins, and our staff will be able to continue to winch them and dump them on the back of the truck directly. And they are utilizing that kind of volume where it would definitely warrant having a bin instead of having all these bags separately or in like a storage area instead.
And saves a lot of individual handling of bags and what have you as well, even in the rest of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'd actually like to order another 2 or 3 bins because it would certainly be well warranted here in town. Just a perfect case in point would be not only over at the school, but over at like the Manitoba Housing, along with the personal care home. There aren't bins there now, and it's become a bit of, the nursing care home has a bin, but Manitoba Housing is just going overloading a bin, and of course they're overloading it. So the fellow who's I guess he's the caretaker. I can't remember what his name is, unfortunately, at the moment. Anyway, Manuel, I think is his name. Anyway, he had phoned earlier this week, and he was a little agitated that Manitoba Housing is definitely taking advantage of the situation and dumping in there. I know really Manitoba Housing should foot the bill for the cost of a bin, but trying to get money out of them is extremely difficult. For the sake of our own workers, and I don't want to put any more pressure on Manuel from personal care home. I'm thinking that it'd be nice to have another bin there. At least this way, if we've got 2 bins back to back, it's just a matter of jockeying the truck twice just to pick up both bins, and that's it.
I need to ask a question. I'm sorry I don't know the answer to this, but for our businesses, don't we charge them for
No.
the bins or garbage pickup?
No, we own the bins.
So we provide the bins, no charge?
Yeah.
Boy, I never had that in the city.
I know, I didn't either.
Brandon, did you have something to do with that?
No, the businesses in the city definitely paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, you guys, we don't have business taxes out here.
Well, and some locations might not be suitable for a bin. I mean, there might not be room, but other locations, I know we typically, I think in the past, picked up commercial twice a week. We're a little bit all over the map and random now with our schedule, but places like Campbell's and Dansets we're picking up daily, and their bins are full every day. Mm-hmm. And some of it I think might be even residents that are just have their garbage and they're just throwing it in whatever bin is convenient.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's handy there.
We're dumping the bins at the shop at least once a day, sometimes twice.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't really matter to us whether we're picking up at Dansets or Campbell's, even if the neighbors are throwing extra stuff in there, we've got to dump it someplace.
Yeah,
yes.
For sure.
As long as our guys aren't having to pick it up, that's what matters, right? That's the priority.
We've had people from let's say other jurisdictions been dropping by and putting stuff in some of those dumpsters for quite some time now.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with the COVID thing, that's for sure.
Yeah,
So,
the dumpster at the shop, I mean, we tell people, regular household bag garbage, and during the day last week, there was 2 chairs and a shelving unit and a mattress showed up during the day, so.
Yeah. Okay. So Darcy, to answer your question, 3 more bins?
Well, I'm thinking we could use a few more bins, and I'd like to place an order for them and try and get them in as soon as we can. I think it's definitely well worth our while, and it's not that it would be just for the COVID incident. I think in the long run, it would definitely be a lot more beneficial to our staff as well as to the residents and the businesses themselves. As they, it's a bigger capacity, it's all contained. And I think it would cut down on, any sort of outbreaks with raccoons and skunks and whatnot, during the other seasons, when sometimes these things do happen here.
Yeah. So would someone make a resolution that we would purchase 3 more bins at the approximate rate of $3,800 each?
I'll move it.
Brian? Seconder?
I'll second.
Ted? Any further discussion on that?
Yeah, what, the bins, Darcy, what line would, or in the garbage section, what would we charge it to?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'll have to look that one up for you, Ted.
All righty.
This is kind of new ground for me too.
We're all in new ground right now.
I know.
All in favor then of the resolution, please indicate.
Aye.
Aye.
That's carried. Anything else, Darcy?
No,
We're
I'm
just
good.
adding a little bit ad hoc here, but
Yeah.
Did you say you were good?
I'm good. Yep.
Okay, all righty. So then we could just as well adjourn. If I can get my,
So be it.
be it resolved that the meeting does now adjourn at 8:37. Oh, Darcy had already written in 8:56. But anyways, we got done early, Darcy. The next regular council meeting is scheduled for May the 7th.
Oh,
My crystal ball is out by a minute.
Does
Yeah.
that mean we get a,
20 minutes.
does that mean we get a rebate?
Yeah.
Okay, and we have a mover.
I'll move.
Greg,
I'll second.
seconder, Ted, all
Yeah.
in favor, please indicate.
Aye.
bye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody, for your help tonight. I know that insurance thing kind of dragged out a little longer than we would have liked, but I think we got there.